Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to have Matt A. West here today. He's the author of Bend, Don't Break: How to Adapt in the New World of Work. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, Georgie, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's so good to see you because I'm so excited about your book. But for those people who don't know of your book yet, can you tell me a little bit about your book?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, it's called Bend, Don't Break. And at its core, it's a book about how to really stay human and grounded in a world that is just changing faster than most of us can keep up. I wanted to write something that met the needs of the people that I talk with. The nature of my job is that I get to speak with a lot of very different and very interesting people all the time. We're talking teams, individuals, executives, junior level professionals. And I hear the same thing all the time, particularly in the last few years. And I'm burnt out. I can't keep up. I'm trying to keep up. And they're not being dramatic. The pace of change at work is endless. It's a lot. Constant pivots, new technologies, new to-dos, do more with less, all of these things. And
Yeah.
so what I wanted to do was to write a practical guide for those people, for anyone who wants to adapt or is being asked to adapt without burning out, selling out, or shutting down.
Yeah, my gosh, that's a lot. But I hear you talked about adaptability, and of course, that's a part of your subtitle of the book about how to adapt. But what is adaptability? What
Yeah.
exactly is the definition of that?
Yeah, people use the word adaptability a lot. And I'll say before I give the definition that a lot of times people, when they say adaptability, what they mean is flexibility or they mean agility, which are both really great, but they're not the same things. And I think it's important to establish the difference with those. Flexibility is kind of about openness, it's the willingness to adjust uh, when plans change, which is such an important skill to have. Agility is a little bit more about speed. It's how quickly you can pivot within change. Also, very important. But adaptability is about growth. It's about the ability to absorb change, to learn from it, and to apply new behaviors in a way that helps you and others around you and in intentional ways over time. A simple way to think of the difference is flexibility helps you adjust, agility helps you go, but
Mhm.
adaptability helps you grow. And without adaptability, you could be the most flexible and agile person in the world, but you are probably just speeding and moving without any meaning. You're running without any direction. You might not be running in the right direction, the right place. In the book, I talk about adaptability through the metaphor of a tree. And I think it's a great way to think about it. Think of a tree. A tree has really strong roots. A healthy tree has strong roots and strong but flexible branches. Adaptability, a good way to think about it is the roots represent the your values, your purpose, the things that really keep you steady. And to be adaptable, the irony is to be adaptable, you have to be rooted in something. You have to be really smart about what you're rooted in. And too often, people are rooted in the wrong things. They root themselves in things like their title or their industry or their expertise.
Mhm.
And the better things are to root yourself in things like values and purpose. And then of course the branches should be strong as well, but those are the parts that stretch and grow. So really adaptability is about not fighting a storm. A tree doesn't fight a storm. A tree bends with a storm. Adaptability is really learning to bend without breaking.
And I wanted to ask you a little bit about uh, the inspiration. I mean, you said it came from personal experience, also professional experience, but can you share a time, like a real life challenge that you were brought into to help solve? Because again, you have some pretty impressive client list going there. So I just wanted to hear, of course, you don't need to name any names, but what are
Sure.
some of the challenges that you were brought in? Because you mentioned some of the things like the things that face all of us, the downsizing, the budget cuts, the everything. So I'd love to hear a little
Yeah.
bit more about that.
And Georgia, I feel really lucky that the nature of my job is that I get to sometimes be a fly on the wall, but usually a little more involved with so many very interesting, very large, sometimes small companies that are doing really interesting things, memorable brands. And when you said a particular experience, I write about a particular experience in the book where I was hired by a healthcare company and they brought me in to help their leadership team to be more innovative,
Mm.
which on the surface, of course, we absolutely have to be more innovative. But once I got there, I realized that innovation wasn't the problem. Fear was the problem.
Ah,
People were scared to be creative. People were scared to speak up. They were scared to make mistakes. They were so scared to be seen as wrong. Every time someone brought up a new idea, it got shut down before it
oh,
even had a chance to be considered and to grow. And my guess is that somebody might be listening to this and going, "Oh, I've been in that room before." So
totally.
many of us have been in that room before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where we don't feel like we can speak up. Now, the irony was the person resisting the change the most was the person who hired me.
What? They didn't see it in themselves?
Well, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it was very clear in the moment. It's very clear that they played a huge role in creating this culture that was
Wow.
fighting against innovation. And so, what I tried to do was design an environment where people felt a little safer. And sometimes by bringing in an outsider, you feel a little more comfortable to talk it up because you're talking with me.
Hmm.
And in the room, one day, a team member said, "Hey, in my last job, we talked a lot about curiosity, and it was expected. It was like one of our values. We wrote it down. And I got to tell you, here it feels like I can't be very curious. It feels a little risky."
Oh, wow.
It's such a small thing to say, but it took a lot of courage for that person to say that. And it shifted. That was the moment that I saw something crack in the room. The whole conversation shifted. Once the team and this leader realized that they needed to talk a little bit more about curiosity and not just innovation, about creating a culture where people felt safe to stretch, everything shifted. They realized that they needed permission to be adaptable and to change the way that they thought about innovation. And by the way, again, the irony was they decided to stop trying to be innovative and to start being adaptable. And adaptability led to innovation, right? I often talk about the idea that adaptability is a bit of a gateway system. It allows you to be creative, it allows you to be successful, it allows you to grow and to be innovative. And so I think for them, they had to choose, we're going to change, we're going to adapt. And because of that, it will result in the thing that we're going for. And that moment really stuck with me because it reminded me that adaptability isn't just about changing people, it's about giving them permission uh, to change, to evolve, and to think about things differently.
So, Matt, it's been so great working with you as your marketing person on your book, truly, because I have noticed that sometimes authors, it's too confusing or a little scary, and I totally get it. But I always felt in our conversations and working with you that you're really open to it. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for being open to marketing because you're an author, not a marketer. I mean, you in particular, it's a little bit different because I know you do have business background, but thank you so much for being open to that. But what made you decide one day, oh, I think I'm going to write a book?
Yeah. I don't think that I've ever dreamed I want to be an author someday in my
Yeah.
life. That never has been the dream. But a few things made me want to write a book. The first one is I just started to notice some threads and conversations I was having. in the nature of my job, I talk with so many different people, and I just noticed a lot of people saying the same things. And I thought, I wonder if there's a way I could capture some of my ideas around this and share it with a broader audience. And the second thing is, I see a book as a bit of a calling card for someone like me who wants to be out working with individuals, teams, and companies on a large scale. My hope is that writing a book will push me into a new level where I can reach larger audiences. This might sound very corny, but for me, my motivation is driven by being able to help people at scale. It's a very business way to say it, but for me, it's like, boy, if I could reach more people, that would be so meaningful to me. And so for me, the book is a way to go in that direction. And the last thing that I'll say is I wrote the book because of some very personal things happening in my life that made me have to adapt really quickly. And I thought, oh, there's something very personal, very real here that I might share with people. So that's what got me to write the book.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about what your mindset was when you started looking for a publisher. Of course, you ended up going with GFB, and we're so grateful to have you. But what was the most important thing to you? Because I know you were talking to a couple of different companies out there, because obviously we have competition.
Yeah. Uh, the truth is, I talked with dozens of companies, dozens of publishers, and the process was really humbling. I got rejected by quite a few publishers with
Oh,
a very
wow.
early draft of my book.
Hmm.
And instead of letting that kind of cut me down, in many ways, I went into it a little naive, and I'm glad I did,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I would have been able to deal with it. But by having a number of publishers go, no, it helped me to go, oh, I need to make this better. So then I went to round two and I rewrote the book. And that's when I started to really interact with publishers like GFB, who said to me, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the response was, we think this manuscript could use some work, but we think your idea is good.
Yeah.
The ultimate reason I decided to go with GFB was because I really appreciated the honesty and the authenticity of working with a team and feeling like I was getting very real, very authentic feedback. I kind of loved that Girl Friday right from the get go was willing to say, it's okay, but the idea is really good. And so we're going to put you with someone who's going to make this even better. Like, I can't tell you how much I appreciated that, because I was talking with a couple of other publishers who were going, this is great. You're so great. We want to work with you.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, having someone go, it's pretty good, and we're going to make it better, it meant the world to me, because that's what I wanted to do, was to
Yeah.
make it better.
At Girl Friday, we do have a self-publishing arm that we call custom, because that word is more accurate in the way that you're calling the shots, you get 100% of the royalties. You decided to go to GFB, so your work was presented to our editorial board and you were accepted. What made you want to go with hybrid publishing versus self? Because you might have a little bit more self-control or control over self-publishing. Hopefully you have self-control. But in the in the hybrid
Hopefully.
publishing, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. But the hybrid publishing, you chose that. So what was it about hybrid that made you interested in going down that pathway?
Yeah. Well, I learned very early on, like I said, I was a little naive. And I think one of the biggest things that I heard from a lot of big publishing houses was, unless you're already a published author, we don't even want to talk with you.
Oh,
And that's a
wow.
hard reality of being like, they said, either you're a published author or you have, 50,000 social media followers or
Oh,
whatever,
I
and we
see.
might talk with you. And so
Yeah.
very quickly I realized, oh no, this might not be the way to go. But I had enough confidence in the idea to make me go, okay, let's look at some other things. And self-publishing and hybrid publishing both came up. Ultimately, I wanted to work with a team. It's like what I said earlier. Having someone be honest with me made all the difference. It made me feel like I was getting good feedback. And in the book, I talk about feedback and the willingness to be able to receive feedback. For me, I think it worked with my personality to be able to work with a team that could help to shape and grow the book in positive ways. I write about perfectionism in the book, and a lot of it's very personal because I feel like I come from a very deep perfectionist background. And so you'd think a perfectionist would say, let's self publish because I want 100% stamp on everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like the older I get, the more I realize that that doesn't serve me well. I work better when other people are willing to weigh in. So hybrid was absolutely the right choice for me because I think the book is head over heels better because of working with a team.